Welcome to this lesson on flowers, the sexual reproductive structures of plants. Flowers are fascinating organs that contain both male and female parts, enabling plants to reproduce and create the next generation. In this video, we'll explore the different components of flowers and understand how they work together to produce seeds and fruits. A flower is the reproductive organ of flowering plants, which are scientifically called angiosperms. The primary function of a flower is to facilitate sexual reproduction. Flowers contain specialized structures that produce male and female reproductive cells, which must come together to form seeds. This reproductive process ensures the survival and continuation of plant species. Every flower consists of four main parts. First, sepals are the protective outer covering that shields the flower bud before it opens. Second, petals are the colorful parts that attract pollinators like bees and butterflies. Third, stamens are the male reproductive parts that produce pollen. And fourth, carpels are the female reproductive parts that contain the ovules. These four components work together to enable successful plant reproduction. The stamen is the male reproductive structure of a flower and consists of two key components. The anther is the top part that produces pollen grains, which contain the male reproductive cells called male gametes. The filament is a thin stalk that supports and holds the anther in position. Together, the anther and filament form a complete stamen, which is responsible for producing and releasing pollen for reproduction. The carpel is the female reproductive structure of a flower and has three essential parts. At the top is the stigma, which has a sticky surface to capture pollen grains. The style is a tube-like structure that connects the stigma to the ovary below. At the base is the ovary, which contains ovules. Each ovule houses a female gamete, or egg cell. When fertilization occurs, these ovules will develop into seeds. Flowers can be classified into two main types based on their reproductive structures. Bisexual flowers, also called perfect flowers, contain both stamens and carpels within a single flower. Examples include roses and hibiscus. Unisexual flowers, also called imperfect flowers, contain only stamens or only carpels, but not both. These flowers are either male or female. Examples include papaya and cucumber flowers. Pollination is the process of transferring pollen grains from the anther of a stamen to the stigma of a carpel. This is a crucial step in plant reproduction because it allows the male gametes in pollen to reach the female gametes in the ovules. Pollination can occur through various agents, including insects like bees and butterflies, birds, wind, or water. Without pollination, fertilization cannot take place. There are two main types of pollination. Self-pollination occurs when pollen is transferred from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. This type of pollination ensures reproduction even when pollinators are scarce. Cross-pollination occurs when pollen is transferred between flowers of different plants of the same species. This type promotes genetic diversity and produces stronger offspring. After pollination, fertilization begins with several steps. First, the pollen grain lands on the sticky stigma. Second, the pollen grain grows a long pollen tube that travels down through the style toward the ovary. Third, the male gamete from the pollen travels through this tube and fuses with the female gamete inside the ovule. Fourth, this fusion creates a zygote, which develops into an embryo and eventually becomes a seed. After successful fertilization, the flower undergoes remarkable changes. The ovary, which contains the ovules, develops and matures into a fruit. This fruit protects the developing seeds inside. Meanwhile, each fertilized ovule transforms into a seed, which contains the plant embryo and stored nutrients. The fruit helps in seed dispersal, allowing new plants to grow in different locations. This completes the reproductive cycle of flowering plants.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.